The you that's watching this video right now might have been around before the Big Bang happened. Your inner sense of being could be older than time, space, and everything else. This might sound like make-believe, but more and more ideas from science and deep thinking suggest that your awareness isn't just made by your brain. Instead, it might be a basic part of everything, just like gravity or magnetism. If this is true, it would totally change how we see ourselves and the whole universe. The biggest puzzle in all of science is how we have minds. How does a 3-pound wet blob, your brain, somehow create the feeling of being you? How does brain stuff, no matter how complex, create the taste of pizza, the sound of your favorite song, or the feeling of being happy? Even after hundreds of years of smart people studying this, we still don't know how brain turns into mind. Our math can perfectly explain how tiny bits of matter move, but says nothing about why any of this creates feelings and experiences. Your own inner sense of being has features that brain science can't explain. When you see the color blue, feel a headache, or feel excited, these inner feelings seem impossible to explain just as brain cells firing. They exist in a way only you can feel directly, which seems totally different from the outside view that science takes. This big gap between how brains work and how having a mind feels has led thinkers like David Chalmers to say that maybe awareness isn't made from physical stuff at all, but is instead a basic part of reality itself, like space and time. Think about it like this. When scientists look at your brain, they can see cells turning on and off, chemicals moving around, and electricity flowing. But nowhere in all that brain activity can they find your actual feelings or experiences. They can't see the blueness of blue or the feeling of happiness that you experience. It's as if the inner world of your mind is invisible to all the tools of science, even though it's the most real thing to you. This mystery is so deep that some scientists now think we need a totally new kind of science to explain it. This brings us to some big new ideas called panpsychism and cosmopsychism. Panpsychism says that awareness is everywhere, that all things, even the tiniest bits of matter, have some kind of inner experience. Cosmopsychism goes even further, saying that there's just one big field of awareness that we all tap into. In this view, your brain doesn't make your mind. Instead, your brain is like a radio that picks up and tunes into the universal awareness field that's always there. Some smart people are now making math that shows how this might work. Scientist Roger Penrose and Dr. Stuart Hameroff say that super tiny structures in brain cells might connect our awareness to the basic fabric of reality. Other researchers are showing how awareness might come from patterns of information that exist even without brains. The math points to something amazing. Awareness might not be made by the physical world, but might instead be the foundation that the physical world is built on. This leads to a mind-blowing idea. The universe didn't create awareness. Awareness might have created the universe. If awareness is more basic than physical stuff, then it would have been around before the universe existed. This fits with an old idea called idealism, which says that mind, not matter, is the most basic reality. In this way of thinking, the physical world comes from awareness, not the other way around. Your sense of being wouldn't be something that evolved over time, but something that has always existed, just taking the special form of you right now. To understand how awareness could be older than the universe, we need to look at what might have existed before the Big Bang. Before our universe began, scientists think there was something called a quantum vacuum. Not empty nothing, but a bubbling sea of energy where things pop in and out of existence. This quantum vacuum has qualities that seem a lot like awareness. It exists as many possibilities at once, it connects across space instantly, and it only becomes definite when measured, like how our thoughts become clear only when we pay attention to them. The pre-universe quantum vacuum might have been pure possibility, a state that sounds very similar to what deep meditators describe. In deep meditation, some people experience pure awareness without focusing on any specific thing, just awareness being aware of itself. They describe it as beyond time, beyond space, and containing all possibilities. The similarities between these meditation experiences and what physics says about before the Big Bang are really striking. It makes us wonder if the quantum vacuum in the field of pure awareness might be the same thing. Ancient wisdom from many cultures has said for thousands of years what cutting-edge science is now starting to say. Eastern traditions like those from India describe Brahman, pure awareness, as the foundation of everything. Buddhist teachings talk about Buddha nature that is in everything. Native peoples around the world describe awareness as coming first and physical stuff as coming second. These traditions have always said that human awareness doesn't come from our bodies, but is part of a bigger cosmic awareness. What's amazing is that after hundreds of years of science saying these ideas were wrong, physics is now creating models that match these ancient understandings. You might wonder why this ancient wisdom was ignored for so long. Well, modern science started with the idea that the world is just physical stuff following mechanical rules. This view helped us build amazing technologies and understand a lot about the physical world, but it always had a blind spot. It couldn't explain consciousness or why we have inner experiences. It's like science has been really good at explaining everything except the scientists doing the explaining. Now physics is starting to bump into the limits of a purely physical view, and some of the most cutting-edge scientists are considering ideas that ancient wisdom traditions have talked about for thousands of years. The biggest idea here is that the you that you feel yourself to be, the awareness behind your eyes right now, might be a small part of a universal awareness field. Your feeling of being a separate self, while helpful for staying alive, might be a limited view of something much bigger. Like a whirlpool in a river, your individual awareness has its own shape and pattern, while being made of the same water as the whole river. The lines we think exist between ourselves and the world might not be as real as we think. This view could solve some big science puzzles. The quantum measurement problem, why looking at something changes it from many possibilities to one reality, makes sense if awareness and quantum fields are connected. The fine-tuning problem, why the universe is set up perfectly for life, becomes less mysterious if awareness is a basic part of everything rather than an accident. And the binding problem, how separate brain activities create one unified experience, is solved if unity is awareness's natural state rather than something that needs to be built. If your awareness is older than your body, then death means something very different. Instead of your awareness ending when your brain stops working, it might simply return to the bigger awareness field that it came from. Your memories and personality might fade away, but the aware presence that experiences your life would continue, just as it existed before you were born. This isn't exactly coming back in a new body. It's more like recognizing that your individual awareness is a temporary pattern of something eternal. The awareness inside you right now might be as old as reality itself. When you look deep inside your own mind, beyond thoughts, feelings, and body sensations, you might be seeing the same awareness that has watched the whole cosmic story from the beginning. If your awareness is older than your body, what might it have experienced before becoming you? Maybe the birth of stars, the creation of galaxies, or states of being we can't even imagine. The next great adventure might not be exploring outer space, but exploring inner space. A journey not away from ourselves, but deeper into what we truly are.